Welcome to This Day in Baseball. We bring you everything from the thrill of victory to the agony of defeat and every milestone and oddball event in between. Today's game is courtesy of thisdayinbaseball.com. You can come for a peek, make friends for a lifetime. Before, after, and during the game, check out the links below the video and visit the player pages, parks, and teams as you listen to this blast from the past. You can catch us on every social media platform, and I want to do a special thanks to MLB Classic Radio Archives for this broadcast. Now, let's play ball.
And so the umpires move out to the field. The managers will be coming out with the batting orders, and we'll give them to you right now. A change once again for the Chicago White Sox. Louis Aparicio leading off, shortstop. Nelson Fox, second base. Jim Landis, center field. Sherman Lollar, catching. Ted Kluszewski is batting fifth instead of the cleanup spot, first base. Al Smith, who has been playing left field, is switched to right field, batting sixth in the order. Bubba Phillips is going to play third base in place of Billy Goodman and bat seventh. Jim McInerney will bat eighth and play left field, and Bob Shaw will do the pitching. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, the batting order the same as yesterday except for the pitcher. Jim Gilliam leading off, third base. Charlie Neal, second base. Wally Moon, right field. Norm Larker hitting fourth, left field. Gil Hodges, first base. Don Demeter, center field. Johnny Roseborough, catching. Maury Wills is going to play shortstop and hit eighth, and batting ninth and pitching Sandy Koufax. The 1959 World Series is being brought to you from the Los Angeles Coliseum in Los Angeles.
May I help you?
Yes. I want something to relieve my child's cough.
My family takes Thorexin, the guided cough medicine.
Guided? What do you mean?
Well, Thorexin is guided right to the spot where coughing is controlled, the cough control center. You see, doctors know coughing is not controlled in the throat. Your throat merely follows orders from the cough control center, which sends the message, and you cough. Now, ordinary cough syrups don't even touch the cough center. Until now, only cough medicines with narcotics could depress this cough center. But narcotics may leave undesirable side effects. Instead of narcotics, Thorexin contains dimethorphan. Thorexin soothes your throat, then speeds through your bloodstream directly to the cough control center. Thorexin relieves coughing like aspirin relieves headaches. Fast, sure, safe for the whole family. So try Thorexin, the guided cough medicine.
The umpires, Bill Summers of the American League at home plate, Frank Dascoli of the National League at first base, Ed Hurley of the American League at second, Frank Sikori of the National League at third. The foul line umpires, Hal Dixon of the National League along the left field line, and Johnny Rice of the American League along the right field foul line. Bob Shaw, who had a record of 18-6 during the regular season, is making his second series appearance. He started the second game, pitched brilliantly for 6 2/3 innings, having given up one home run to Charlie Neal. And then with 2 outs in the seventh, you remember, when Chuck Gasigian came in and delivered the dramatic pinch hit homer. And then the Los Angeles Dodgers got Bob Shaw out of there and eventually went on to win the ball game 4-3. Bob Shaw, who won 18 and lost 6 during the regular season, led the American League in percentage with 750, and his earned run average of 2.69 was second best in the league behind Hoyt Wilhelm. Sandy Koufax, who pitched 2 relief innings at Comiskey Park and retired 6 men in a row, last started the game on September 22nd at San Francisco, pitched just 2/3 of an inning with no decision. He had a record of 8-6 during the regular season with an earned run average of 4.06. The 24-year-old left-hander has a blazing fastball and struck out 18 men in one regular season game here in the Coliseum, which, of course, tied the record set by Bob Feller in 1938. That was on August 31st against the Giants right here, and, of course, set a new National League record as well as tying Bob Feller's Major League record. He has a great strikeout average. If his curveball is working, he has been troubled with wildness, but if his curveball is working, he generally is tremendously difficult to solve, and particularly with the poor background for the hitters. All of the batters on both sides complain about it with the shirt-sleeve crowd. They find it difficult to pick up the ball, not only as batters, but as fielders, looking into the open stands and the white shirts in that direction. The umpires say that they have had some problem in picking up the pitches as they come from the mound into the plate. The attendance today, again, is going to be a great one. You know, on Sunday we had 92,294, the largest crowd ever to see a World Series game, and the record was broken yesterday when 92,560 saw the World Series game. The total attendance for the first four games, 892,300 and, total receipts, $892,365.04, represents the largest player pool in the history of the World Series, eclipsing the 1954 record of $881,763. The winner's share in 1954 was $11,147.90, and that represented the largest winner's share of all time. Just what it will be this year, we do not know until it is announced by the commissioner's office. And right now, the Marine Color Guard will present the colors from the cruiser USS Los Angeles. Johnny Boudreau and his band will play the national anthem, and Johnny Raitt, the star of screen and television, will sing the national anthem. Now the Marine Color Guard has moved out toward right center field. They have presented the colors, and we'll have our national anthem with over 90,000 people standing in the Los Angeles Coliseum. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification.
WGY, WGFM, Schenectady.
The battery for today's game, the fifth game of the World Series for the Chicago White Sox, Bob Shaw and Sherman Lollar. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, Sandy Koufax and Johnny Roseboro. And the Dodgers take the field. And so the question is, will the World Series be ended right here today, or will we move back to Comiskey Park? And to give you a pretty good idea, as we get ready to go, I move the Gillette microphone with a great deal of pleasure to amiable, affable, able Byram Sound. Right you are, Mel Allen. Hello, everybody, once again. From the Coliseum, we're ready for the 5th game of the World Series. Chicago is still alive, but today's game is almost like sudden death. They know they have to win. And Sandy Koufax, tall left-hander, who makes his home back in Brooklyn, New York, is getting ready to go. He did work 2 fine relief innings recently in Chicago. When he's hot, he's one of the toughest left-handers to beat. Once in a while, he runs into control trouble. But he has a blazing fastball. He's a bachelor. He's only 23 years old. He has never pitched in the minor leagues. And he signed as a bonus baby with the Dodgers some years back. It's Koufax warming up. Now, this fellow throws mostly overhand. Usually, if he's wild high. And I have a feeling today that the White Sox are going to be looking over quite a few pitches. Louis Aparicio is coming in to lead off. In the series, he's hitting at .294, and I did notice the last time up in batting practice, he hit one over the screen. Ready to go. Mel tells you we have a packed house. This could be the final game of the series, and if Chicago should win, of course, we will start action again in Chicago. Here we go. The game is ready to go. Bill Summers says play ball. Here's Koufax into the windup, and the left-hander's first pitch is down the middle. A strike one call. Aparicio pushed back into the leadoff spot, and he'll be followed by Nellie Fox. Here it is. Strike 2 right in there. Fastball. The White Sox have been scoring more runs and getting more hits. And yet they're down in this series, 3-1. Curveball, strike 3 call. What a way to start the ball game. 3 consecutive strikes, and Aparicio was looking. One gone. Nelson Fox, who keeps this White Sox team together. He's hitting .412, 17 hits in the 4 games that have been played. And he's looked good in this series. He's been punching the ball to left field. Koufax throws. It's a pop-up in the vicinity of shortstop. Maury Wills, making good use of the sunglasses, is positioned right and has it for the out. 2 gone. Off the first 4 pitches, you can see that Koufax has his control. Outfielder Jimmy Landis now stepping up. Center fielder and right-handed batter. In the series, hitting at .294. He's picked up 5 hits. Fastball is over. This fella hasn't thrown a ball that's missed the strike zone yet. Left-hander Sandy Koufax. He's set. He cuts loose. Strike 2 is called. They're roaring on every pitch. Now the outfield is set up a shade to left on Landis. The infield is up a step or 2. He's out, swinging. He lost control of the bat. Koufax didn't throw a pitch that missed the plate at all. How about that? No runs, no hits, nobody left on. Completing a half inning of play, it's Chicago nothing and L.A. nothing. You know, reports have just reached me that the new Gillette adjustable razor is moving like never before. It was a sensational when it was first introduced, but now it's all but jumping off the retailer's counters. Now, why is that? Why, simply because this Gillette adjustable razor gives you the most comfortable shades that you've ever had. And the results are the same whether you have a light beard, heavy beard, tender beard, no matter what combination. For you set the Gillette adjustable razor to your own skin and beard. And it's so easy. A turn of the micrometer dial on the handle lets you set the razor. This dial has 9 different numbers, each indicating a different degree of edge exposure and angle. The lower numbers expose less blade edge. The higher numbers increase exposure. One piece convenient? You bet. Blade changing and cleaning are a snap. Priced at $195, the Gillette adjustable is sold on our guarantee of complete satisfaction or your money back. See it at a store near you. Last half of the first inning. Jim Gilliam is leading off against 26-year-older Bob Shaw. He pitched a tremendous game in Chicago last Friday for 6 2/3 innings. He was leading by a score of 2-1. Suddenly, his low breaking stuff was getting a bit higher, and the home run ball finally knocked him out of the game. Gilliam is hitting at 125. A switch hitter takes strike one call, batting left today. Here's a real money ball player, Junior Gilliam, and he can play several spots. Austin claims he's better at third. Shaw throws. There's a line drive hit. It's over the head of Fox in right center. Gilliam makes the long turn, but holds up with a single as Landis fields the ball. Third hit for Gilliam in this series. The people were wide-eyed at the pitching of Koufax in that first inning. He only made 7 pitches to retire the Sox. Here's Charlie Neal. This fella has been swinging a mighty bat in this series, hitting at .353, right-hander. He swings and pops one foul. Might be playable. Giving it chase. Phillips. Running is Aparicio. And Louis has it. He turns. Here's Gilliam. He tags and goes to second. Safe. What tremendous action. Even though Charlie Neal is out on a spectacular grab by Louis Aparicio, who must have run a half block to get that pop foul, he was out of position to turn in a hurry, and Gilliam, the ever-alert base runner, has advanced to second base. You can talk about your daring tactics on the baselines, but it's pretty tough to beat the Dodgers. One of the reasons they won the National League pennant. They've got a runner in scoring position with one out. And here's Wally Moon, right fielder, hitting at .267 in this series. Shaw on the stretch. He delivers. Low and inside, a ball one. Bob Shaw makes his home in Garden City, Long Island. He paid the way for his mom and dad to come out to California and see the series. He's a very determined young man, I might add, and he knows the burden that he shoulders today. Inside, a ball, 2-0. No score, but the Dodgers here in the first inning, with one out, have Gilliam at second base. Moon has delivered 4 hits in this series. Two of them here and 2 at Chicago's Comiskey Park. It's pretty hard to tell how to play Moon. He just goes with the pitch. Shaw behind, 2-0. Low and outside, ball 3. Now Shaw realizes to be successful, and he certainly was one of the finest in the American League. He won 18. He has to keep the ball down. Principally, a fast sinker ball pitcher, has an excellent slider, and he says once in a while when I get ahead, I'll try my curveball. He's behind now, though, 3-0. Strike call, a fast sinking pitch. Back at the Coliseum, another crowd that's expected to go better than 92,000. Who knows, it might even top yesterday's crowd. 5th game of the World Series. Shaw into the stretch. The turn, here's the pitch. There's a bouncing ball to the mound. Shaw grabs. He gets direction from Lollar. He flips to first. He holds a runner at second and throws. Moon out. He knew that he had a base runner. He was perplexed there for a moment, and I notice that Lopez is coming out. The impact of that hot ground ball, Lopez thought might have hit him in the chest. Shaw gave with it, and I do believe the ball hit in the heel of the glove. He's okay, he says. And he threw Wally Moon out. Pitcher to first, 2 gone, and at the same time he held Junior Gilliam at second base. 2 out. Now notice this Los Angeles lineup is the same that operated so successfully yesterday, and Norman Locker continues to hit in the cleanup spot. While Norm has not come up with as many hits as some of his teammates, he's been a wonder in the outfield defensively, and I do believe, according to some of the boys I talked with, it was his base running yesterday that helped get early win out of the ball game. It's Shaw pitching with Lollar catching. Locker is hitting 182 in the series. Young Shaw on the stretch. The right-handed throws. Strike one called. No doubt you can hear the booming voice of Bill Summers in the background today. It was Summers who operated in the first game last Thursday in Chicago. One of the best. Runner at second, 2 out. Outside and low, 1-1. The observations out here now is it's not so much the screen, but it's the background that is affecting not only the hitter, but the fielder as well. Especially when it's a warm day, as it is in Los Angeles today. Shirt sleeve crowd. First inning. And Walker the batter. Bob Shaw draws the arm back, cuts loose, swing and a miss. He went for a high pitch. 1-2. On deck, yesterday's hero, Gil Hodges. The stretch, the Chicago right-hander throws. Ground ball to the mound. Easy play for Shaw. Over to Kluszewski, and that's all for the Dodgers. First inning, no runs. 1 hit. 1 left. Score. Completing 1 round of play. Chicago nothing. Los Angeles nothing.
Just twist that dial and you're all set with the adjustable razor by Gillette. For shave so easy, fast and clean. So try it and see what we mean.
Waiting now for Koufax to get loosened up. Here to lead off, it will be Sherman Lollar. Lollar has been moved up in the lineup. Taking the place of Ted Kluszewski, who will come along next, and then Al Smith. Al Lopez commenting today. He says, certainly we're not playing up to our capabilities. He said we have to play better if we're going to win any ball games. And certainly the White Sox did not win the American League pennant the way they've been playing the last couple of games. He is especially hurt over the way they're playing defensively and the way they haven't been able to get the runners across. Strike one called on Lollar. He's hitting at .333. 5 hits in the series, and he put the Sox right back in contention yesterday with a home run with 2 mates aboard. It came in the 7th. He tops one to third base. Gilliam charges. He makes the pickup near the bag. Wings it to first in time. Lollar is out. Fine play, Junior Gilliam to Gil Hodges. Big boy Ted Kluszewski being announced. I know that all the Sox fans are hoping that Klu can they take things in hand. He, of course, led them to an easy triumph in the first game of the series with a pair of home runs. 2 low, ball 1. Now, Klu will tell you Koufax is not as difficult as some of the left-handers could be. He doesn't come around so much sidearm. The pitch. Fastball. He sends one high and twisting toward left center. It's playable. Coming up is Locker. He makes it. 2 down. Norman Locker for the putout. 2 down.
Number 16, the right fielder, Al Smith.
Outfielder Al Smith, who has been moved over to right field today. Al, hitting-wise, doing okay. Defensively as well. He's batting at .357. Right-handed batter. Koufax is low with this pitch. It skids by Roseboro. Ball 1. Now, once in a while, Koufax on his curveball pitching will miss the target like that, but usually he gets in a lot of trouble when his fastball is taking off and goes high. But so far, he's looked terrific. He's retired the first 5 batters to come up. Fly ball to left field. An easy chance for Locker. He's waiting, and that's all for Smith. That's all for the White Sox. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. Score completing 1.5. The White Sox nothing, Los Angeles nothing. Well, yesterday, the Dodgers took the lead at 4-0. Chicago came back to tie it, and then Gil Hodges got the magic stroke that won the ball game 5-4. And here's another piece of news that's kicking up a lot of excitement all over the country. It's the news about Gillette's revolutionary new 195 adjustable razor. What a great achievement this is. For this razor has a micrometer dial on the handle that adjusts to 9 different degrees of edge exposure and edge angle to fit your exact requirements. Revolve the collar one way, exposure decreases. You turn it the other way, more edge is exposed. You get the edge that you want for the shades that you want. Clean, refreshing shades with that all-out comfort that is guaranteed. Yes, you must agree the Gillette adjustable razor gives you the finest shaves ever, or your money will be refunded. Stop in at your nearby Gillette dealer. Pick up the razor. It costs just $1.95, complete with Gillette Blue Blade dispenser and travel case.
Batting to the number 5 position, number 14, the first baseman.
The popular Gil Hodges leads off. Gil hitting a .357 in the series. His picture was slapped all over the Los Angeles papers today, and with good reason. Bob Shaw getting ready to go. One thing about Shaw, talking with him today, he is confident. He believes he's going to win. He throws. Fastball, it's over. Strike one. The Dodgers have won 3 in a row. Remember, in World Series competition, the Dodgers have never won 4 in a row. But you never know. Fly ball into center. Not deep. Landis started back. He has to come up, but there's Fox and there's Aparicio. They collide, and one of them has the ball. Louis has the ball. Now that ball did tricks to all 3. Landis started back and then realized it was going to be a short pop fly, and it is Louis Aparicio who has come up with the grab. Nobody's hurt, although Fox and Aparicio both fell. One gone. Outfielder Don Demeter. He's been a surprise starter in this series. Long, lean, right-handed batter. Pops a foul out of play. Strike one. We're in the last half of the second inning, ladies and gentlemen, from the Coliseum in L.A. No score in the 5th game of the World Series. Demeter is hitting at .333. He's picked up 2 hits, 2 singles yesterday. Shaw whips that right arm around, delivers. There's a tap ball to third base, coming up fast. The pickup is by Phillips. The throw is perfect. 2 gone. Third to first. Catcher John Roseboro. Johnny is hitting at 143. But what a workhorse he's been handling this pitching staff. And is he proud of these youngsters like Larry Sherry and Sandy Koufax? He sends one foul up overhead. Strike one. You know, there are all kind of records for World Series play. Mel and I the other day were trying to find one on number of assists by a catcher in throwing runners out. I don't think we ever found it. But Roseboro picked off 3 White Sox in the game here the other day. Ground ball hit toward Nellie Fox. 3 big hops. He's up. Fox to first, and that's the third out of the inning. Shaw looking tremendous in that second frame. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. And we've now come through 2 innings of play. It's Chicago nothing, the Dodgers nothing.
Now, with the miracle of guided medicine, you can relieve your cough as easily as you relieve a headache. Take Thorexin, the guided cough medicine that goes to the right spot, your cough control center. Doctors know coughing is not controlled in the throat. Your throat merely follows orders from the cough control center, which sends the message, and you cough. Now, ordinary cough syrups don't even touch the cough center. Until now, only cough medicines with narcotics could depress this cough center. But narcotics may leave undesirable side effects. Instead of narcotics, Thorexin contains dimethorphan. Thorexin soothes your throat, then speeds through your bloodstream directly to the cough control center. Thorexin relieves coughing like aspirin relieves headaches. Fast, sure, safe for the whole family. So get Thorexin, the guided cough medicine.
John Bubba Phillips leads off for the White Sox in the third inning. He continues to divide the duties with Bill Goodman. Bubba is hitting at .333. He has 1 hit in the series. Southpaw Sandy Koufax was ready to go, but Phillips breaks the tension by stepping out. Phillips' 1 hit was at Comiskey Park last Friday. He doubled to left field. Here's a swing and a miss, strike 1. Phillips to be followed by McEnany and pitcher Shaw. A long drive to left. It's going to get to the screen. Locker turns and plays it on the rebound, and they hold Phillips to a single. So the White Sox come up with their first hit of the ball game. If you have followed the pattern, the Sox have been very, very troublesome in the first inning and most of the game. Jim McEnany being announced. A young outfielder from right here in Los Angeles, 23 years old. Right-hander, he wears glasses. This fella has good power to right center field. And he is looking for his first World Series hit. Swinging, strike 1. Now, most of the times, in situations like this, the Sox have been trying running tactics. Phillips fouls this one off, out of play, strike 2. No score in the 5th game of the World Series. The pitching has simply been truly wonderful so far. Koufax against Shaw. The stretch. All right, a pop-up. It's right out in front of the plate. And coming down is first baseman Gil Hodges, and he has it for the out. That's all for McEnany. A fair ball. Usually the pitcher will give way either to the first baseman or the third baseman. Number 35 is Robert Shaw.
The pitcher, Rob Shaw.
You know, during the regular season, Dick Donovan didn't have one of his better years, and neither did Bill Pierce. But this fellow certainly picked up the slack. He was right there behind Early Wynn. Strike 1. He's a right-handed batter. And even though he was defeated his first time out in the World Series, he did come up with a base hit. He picked up a single to right field against Johnny Padres last Friday at Comiskey Park. 1 out, 1 on. Outside. 1-1. Now, Gilliam is playing very shallow at third. Hodges is holding at the first base bag.
Shaw stepping out and looks to third base coach Tony Cuccinello. Don Gutteridge directing traffic at first. 1-1. He bunts. It's along the first base side. Roseboro, the pickup. Only one play. He goes to first. Charlie Neal covering. It's a sacrifice, moving Phillips to second base. Shaw is out. Roseboro to Neal covering. 2 down. Louis Aparicio. He was simply overpowered with fastballs of the first inning by Sandy Koufax. Sandy takes more time. On the stretch, he delivers. A foul sent by batter Aparicio into the screen. 0-1. You all know the Sox are really up against it. They have to win to keep the World Series going. Should they win, there would be an open date tomorrow for traveling, and the next game would be coming up on Thursday. But we'll be telling you the full story later on. Inside and low, 1-1. Two men are gone. Phillips at second base. Louis sends a ball to left field. It's a base hit. Phillips is coming around third. They're going to hold him. As Locker released the ball, Aparici going to second. A tremendous play, even though Aparicio singled to left. The runner Phillips came around third. Cuccinello elected to hold him up. The cutoff was beautifully done, and the throw into second base cut down Louis Aparicio. He gets a single. He tried to go into second base. He is out. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left on base. The score at the end of 2.5. Dodgers nothing, Chicago nothing. Well, our last day in Los Angeles, and these fans will certainly remember the year of 1959. And we at Gillette will remember it too. Not only for the series, but as the year that millions and millions of you men discovered the comfort of shaving with Gillette 195 adjustable razor. Why the big difference in this new razor? Well, that's easy. Because with it, you adjust the blade edge to match your personal combination of skin and beard. On the handle of the Gillette adjustable, there's a dial with 9 different blade settings. Turn it and you change the blade edge exposure and edge angle. There's a setting between 1 and 9 that will give you immaculate shades with a kind of comfort that you've always wanted. See this remarkable new shaving instrument tomorrow. The Gillette adjustable costs $1.95, complete with Gillette Blue Blade dispenser and travel case. If you don't agree that it tops any razor that you've ever owned, Gillette will refund the entire purchase price. Now, the cutoff play that cut down Aparicio was Larker to Gilliam to Neal. And here we go with the first pitch coming down to the leadoff batter, Maury Wills, and it is ball 1. The leadoff man in the last half of the third inning. Shaw delivers. Ground ball hit toward Aparicio. He charges. He takes it on the half hop. He throws a bit off balance, but Wills, the speedster, is out. Wills has been absolutely sensational in this series. One away. Pitcher Koufax. Takes the bat, handed over by Junior Gilliam. Koufax batting right-handed. Low outside. Ball 1. The Sox have 2 hits. The Dodgers have 1. Ground ball. Slowly hit toward Aparicio. He has it. Good, easy time to make the play, and he does. He throws Koufax out. Suzuki for the put out. 2 down. Jim Gilliam. What a play those Dodgers executed when they cut Aparicio down at second base. You can see the closeness of the screen here at the Coliseum certainly alters the pattern of play. Low, ball 1. Gilliam came up with a single in the first inning. He moved to second later, but that's as far as he could go. Shaw into that easy motion of his, throws, fly ball, hit foul. There goes the third baseman, Phillips. There goes Aparicio, and it drops. It's too far down. There's plenty of running room, though, here on the third base side for pop fouls. But that one was a bit too far. It hits the turf and then bounces into the stands. A shirt sleeve crowd with a temperature reading in the 80s. There must be thousands and thousands of these coolie hats, sun bonnets of every description. And how these people out here love their Dodgers. The count. One ball, 2 strikes. It is low. 2 men are gone. Charlie Neal in the on-deck circle. Bob Shaw steps on the mound, throws. There's a ball hit out over first. It's going to drop a base hit to right field. And Gilliam is a 2 for 2. A single to right. Charlie Neal coming up. This lean Texan from the oil well section of Texas is quite a hero out here. And he's the fellow that wrecked Bob Shaw in World Series game number 2. Here we go. Inside, he brushed him back, ball 1. Shaw was talking about those home run balls that cost him dearly in Chicago. He said, I got the pitches up a little high, especially the one that Chuck Asijan hit. Junior Gilliam at first base. The score is 0-0. Each team has 2 hits, and here's a lob throw to first base. Gilliam back in plenty of time. Another move to first. Gilliam back. There goes a runner. There's a swing and a drive to left. That ball is up. It hits the screen. Here's the ball, and Gilliam is going to go to third and hold up. It's a single. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have to explain this. That was high on the screen. It missed a home run by a couple of feet, probably, and it turns out a single. But we're in the Coliseum, you understand. Gilliam made it to third base. Neal comes up with a hit. He's been murdered on Bob Shaw. That is the 7th hit for Charlie Neal. L.A. has something going right now. Runners at first and third with 2 gone. Three individuals in the series now have 7 hits. Lazuski, Nellie Fox, and now Charlie Neal. Here's Wally Moon. Ground ball over the mound. Can Fox get it? He has it. He touches second base, and they got a force out on Charlie Neal coming into second base. And that's the 3rd out. So in the 3rd for the Dodgers, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 left on base. And at the end of the 3rd inning of play, the score, Chicago 0, the Dodgers 0.
Look sharp, feel sharp. Be sharp and listen, mister. How you fixed for blades? Do you have plenty? How are you fixed for blades? You better check. Please make sure you have enough. 'Cause a worn out blade makes shaving mighty tough. How are you fixed for blades? Better look. Gillette.
We pause now, 30 seconds for station identification.
World Series time, party time, or any time your thirst demands bright, refreshing satisfaction, treat yourself to genuine Saratoga Vichy. Enjoy its extra dry flavor and sparkling tang now.
Saratoga Vichy, yellow label. Saratoga Vichy, yellow label. Saratoga Vichy.
Only 10 more days till the 1960 Plymouth is unwrapped at Schenectady, Plymouth. It's the sweetest package of power out of Detroit. Don't miss it. October 16th at Schenectady, Plymouth, 1016 State Street, Schenectady.
Koufax got him on a pop-up to Maury Wills in the first inning. The lefty throws. Pop foul up into the press row. 1-1. On that last play, Fox wasn't going to take any chances. He has grabbed that ground ball and ran over to second base to get the final out forced. Terrific ball game unfolding today. Sunny skies out in California. And Mel Allen and By Som sending it your way. Fly ball. Out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fox is one of the most terrific competitors I've ever met. He's not the fastest. He doesn't have the fastest hands, but he's just one of the best. A wild pitch. That ball got away from Koufax. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I have never seen, in the years that I have watched Koufax work, a more beautiful first inning than he pitched. He retired the White Sox with 7 pitches. He goes to work. Fox swings, and there's one, a base hit to right field, just out of the reach of Gil Hodges. So Foxy comes up with his 8th hit of the series. Now look, here's a throw. Fox rounded first, and what do you think? Roseboro had moved down to the bag, and little Fox was almost caught. Man, wouldn't that have been something? Well, both of these teams love to run. They're daring. They go all out on the baselines, and of course, it gives the fans a lot to talk about. Let's see what develops here. Landis a batter with nobody out. Too low to Landis. Ball 1. Jim took a strike 3 in the first inning. Nelson Fox now has 8 hits, more than anyone else in the series. A foul. 1-1. I don't think they're not proud of that little fella back in St. Thomas, Pennsylvania. No score. The hits are all even. We are now in the top half of the 4th inning. And of course, the Sox are figuring out a way to win a ball game in this huge Coliseum. 1 ball, 1 strike. Koufax wheels and throws outside fastball. It's fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Landis started the World Series in a blaze of glory, batting against Roger Craig last Thursday. The first 3 times at the plate, he picked up singles. And in the first inning of the first game here in California, he made one of the greatest catches I've ever seen on a ball that was looped into right center by Junior Gillette. He's quite a ball player. Jim Landis sends another foul off to the right. He's going for those fastballs that are taking off high and away. It seems to be a little bit cooler today. Less smog. Another tremendous crowd. We've had sellouts in all three games. Fox not getting too big a lead at first base. The count is 1-2 to Landis. High. Way up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now, Koufax was eligible in the World Series of 55 and 56, but he was not used. He was only a youngster. He was born and raised in Brooklyn. His father is a lawyer back that way. Sandy likes California, though, and I believe he's going to stay out here this coming winter. 2-2. It's too low. All 3. All of the hits in the ball game have been one-baggers. There's a ball to right center. It's going to find an open spot. Fox is going to go to third base. The pickup is made in right field by Wally Moon. It's a single, and the White Sox are in business. 2 men are on with nobody out. A line single by Jimmy Landis. Sherm Lollar to be your batter now. Time is out. There goes the hurry-up call to the bullpen. Number 35, I see Johnny Klipstein getting up. Joe Becker is in charge of that Dodger bullpen. And he's got a great gang of hard-throwing pitchers down there, believe me. Of course, the talk of this L.A. city is Larry Sherry. Here's Lollar. He hits a ball down to Neal. He runs to second for 1. Over to first 2, but a run scores, and the White Sox take the lead. Nellie Fox comes trotting in. Lollar has bounced into a double play. Neal got a hold of that ball, touched second, and released it in time to the first baseman, Gil Hodges. Labine is a right-hander warming up down there along with Klipstein. Now, Lollar does not get credit for an RBI, for he hit into a double play. But the White Sox lead 1-0. 2 men are gone. Mammoth Ted Kluszewski at the plate. First time around, he flied out to left. Fly ball left center. Stays up there pretty high for Demeter, and he's under. He makes it, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. 1 run on 2 hits. Nobody left on. And as we go into the last half of the 4th inning from the Coliseum, Chicago 1, the Dodgers nothing. Sherm Lollar of Springfield, Missouri, is one of the stars of this White Sox ball club. He got a home run to tie it yesterday. He just drove in the first run of the ball game, and he's their cleanup hitter. And you know, there isn't a better handler of pitchers anywhere than Sherm. And if I haven't mentioned it, he's one of Gillette's biggest boosters. What does he say? Well, here's what he says. That Gillette adjustable tops anything that I've ever laid against my face for real shaving comfort. Now, there is more to be said than that, because with the new Gillette adjustable, superb shaving comfort is guaranteed every man, no matter what his combination of skin and beard. That's because you adjust it to match your own personal requirements. Yes, sir, there's a micrometer dial right on the handle with 9 different settings. Turn it to the higher numbers, you expose more blade edge. Turn it the other way, and you reduce exposure. You get exactly the right amount of blade edge and angle that you need. And that means clean, refreshing shaves that last longer, and what comfort you get. What does all of this comfort and convenience cost? Only $1.95 for Gillette adjustable razor, blue blade dispenser, and modern travel case. with money back guaranteed by Gillette if you are not completely satisfied. One of the most amazing things to me out here is they bring bugles and trumpets and they start blowing away and they say charge. It's become a big item here with the Dodger fans. All right, Locker is leading off, strike one call in the last half of the fourth inning. First time at the plate, Locker bounced weakly to the mound, and Shaw tossed him out. Bob Shaw whips to the plate, and it's a pop fly to left center field. Coming over is Jimmy Landis, and he has it. The left fielder moved out of the way, McEnany. One down. First backer, Gil Hodges. One to nothing is the score. Chicago leading in the fifth game of the World Series. Gil in his first trip to the plate. Aparicio. Too low, ball one. Stan Williams is now throwing in the Dodger bullpen. There was a possibility of him starting today, but Alston went to Koufax. Hodges takes low, outside. 2-0. Shaw, his last appearance, worked 6 2/3 innings against this Dodger ball club, allowed 8 hits and 4 runs. One out, 2-0 pitch. It's strike one call. Bob Shaw, a very personable young pitcher. There must have been 100 writers at one time or other today interviewing him. And he was very cool and calm about it. He knows it's up to him to keep the White Sox in this thing. Fly ball well hit to right center. Landis is not going to get this one. It's way back. Hodges is going to dig for 2, maybe more. Landis gets it. Here comes the relay. Hodges will make 3. The throw is late. A triple to right center. Gil Hodges went to right center that time. A low line shot that hit the turf and rolled all the way to the Cyclone fence, 400 and some feet away. It's a triple, and they hardly had a play on him at third base. And now the Dodgers in a position to tie it up or go ahead. That, I do believe, is the first triple in the World Series of '59. 3-base hit. Mel checks me on it. That's correct. And here's Don Demeter. The infield is up. Shaw goes to work. Low, outside a ball. Well, you can see the importance of getting a triple out of that. For now, the Dodgers, with a long fly ball, can tie the game up. Demeter bounced out to third baseman Phillips in the second inning. Shaw into full motion throws. Hook. It's low and inside. He's behind now. 2-0. Don Demeter, a big boy from Oklahoma City. And he's certainly going to be a star of the future. Shaw studies. Goes the mound. Cuts loose. Ground ball to the mound. Shaw has it. He holds Hodges. He throws to first late. He got him in time. He held that ball for so long. He had a feeling that Hodges was going to go anywhere. But he finally released the ball in time to get Demeter. And remember, Demeter is no slowpoke. Now, that's a very key play, and Shaw made it. Although he held the ball, looked for Hodges. Thought he held him, and then held up again. Nevertheless, 2 men are gone now. Shaw has come up with 3 assists already in the game. For Gil Hodges, that is his 8th World Series extra base hit. And yesterday, most of you know, it was his home run that won the game 5-4. The 5th World Series home run for Hodges. Time is out. Lollar wants to talk it over with Shaw on how to pitch to Roseboro. The Sox are moving their infield back now. Last half of the 4th inning. The White Sox lead 1-0. They scored a run in the top half of the 4th inning. The Dodgers have Hodges at third. 2 gone, and here's the pitch to Roseboro. Change up. Strike call. Roseboro beats on it. And that's the slowest pitch that Shaw has offered. But he got it over the plate. Here's the pitch. Low, curve, beautifully trapped by Lollar. Man, that could have spun away and the game would have been tied. Now, that was a pitch breaking way down in front of the plate. And Lollar trapped the ball. Johnny Roseboro from Compton, California. He's only 26 years old. Change up, swinging, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That ball came up in the face of Roseboro like a big grapefruit. And he missed it. 1-2. Into full motion, Robert Shaw delivers. There's a fly ball to left, not very deep. Aparicio out. The left-fielder in. It's Louis Aparicio for the out. That's the 3rd out of the inning. And in the 4th, for L.A., no runs, 1 hit, a triple by Hodges, and 1 man left off. Score at the end of 4. The Dodgers 0, Chicago 1. The following message is brought to you as a public service from Gillette. You know, millions of Americans will make use of our forest this year. Everyone who does is a potential firebug. But forest fires can easily be prevented. 9 out of every 10 forest fires are caused by human carelessness. Now, to make sure that you aren't the cause of forest fire, memorize and observe these 4 simple rules. 1, crush out cigarettes, cigar, and pipe ashes. 2, break matches in 2 after using. 3, drown out campfires and then stir and drown again. 4, see that the law says about campfires before you start one. Remember what Smokey the Bear says, only you can prevent forest fires. We now pause 30 seconds for station identification.
WGY, WGFM, Schenectady. Experts agree Saratoga Vichy makes good drinks taste better. That's because only Saratoga Vichy has that extra dry flavor that improves your mixed drinks. Get real Vichy, Saratoga Vichy.
Saratoga Vichy, yellow label. Saratoga Vichy, yellow label. Saratoga Vichy.
You're safe at home with a savings account at Troy Savings Bank. Earn a big 3.25% from October 1st on deposits made before October 15th.
First pitch coming down to Al Smith. Strike 1 call. He's a leadoff batter in the top half of the 5th inning. Koufax throws. He got him to go for an overhand curveball. Strike 2. Koufax can be rough. He throws as hard as any left-hander in baseball. Usually a very slow starter, but usually comes on strong in August and September. Here's the pitch. He struck him out. Another breaking pitch. He missed it by a foot. Strikeout. Number 3 for Koufax. Third baseman Bubba Phillips. You know, this young man was quite a football player in his days at Mississippi Southern. But the happiest thrill of his life is to be playing in this World Series. And he got himself a hit the last time up, a single to left. White Sox lead 1-0. High, ball 1. Outside high, a fastball. 2-0. Both starting pitchers still in the ball game. 1-0, Chicago. Phillips, chunky, gets well over the plate, swings and misses. 2-1. Nobody on, 1 out. Inside low. 3-1. The Dodgers have really bounced back. They were shellacked 11-0, but they've won the last 3. They're trying to clinch the World Series. The Sox are hoping to keep it alive. A swing for strike 2. This fella has really got the pitches. Usually his fastball is from the letters up, and his curve, overhand, a real downer. He throws. Fastball is hammered to short. Maury Wills bags it, throws. That's all for Phillips. 2 gone, short to first.
Number 3, Jim McElhenney, left field.
One thing for sure, the personnel of the 2 teams in the World Series, we have lots of boys from around this Los Angeles area. And here's a young fellow that would really like to show the home folks, Jim McElhenney. Jimmy Rivera wasn't hitting too well, so McElhenney is in your lineup. He was out the first time up. Ball 1. 2 men gone. Swings on a low pitch. He got a piece of it. Foul. 1-1. Two gone in the 5th, and nobody on. Koufax throws a high inside fastball. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if the White Sox win today, tomorrow is a travel date, and the series will resume at Comiskey Park. That'll be on Thursday, and it will start at 1:45 Eastern Daylight Time. High inside, ball 3. The 1 run of the game came over in the 4th inning. Fox got a single to right. Landis got a single. Fox went to third, and he scored while Lollar was bouncing out in a double play. Koufax flips. Ball 4. It's high and outside. A walk. That's the first one given up by Koufax, and that's the first one in the game. To give you some idea as to how the pitching is going. Bob Shaw, formerly with the Detroit Tigers. This fella has been around, but he certainly became a great big league pitcher in 1959. Shaw, foul, first base side. I might add, the Commissioner of Baseball, Mr. Ford Frick, is sitting right over along that side. Every seat taken. Shaw takes high and inside. It's been announced that the attendance for today's game is 92,706. This tops Sunday's crowd, and it tops Monday's crowd. Over 277,000 to watch the 3 games in Los Angeles. Inside and high, a ball, 2-1. And what a magnificent picture it is to see so many baseball fans watching a World Series game. 2-1. A runner on with 2 gone. Koufax throws right in there. A strike. 2-2. Once again, Clem Labine starts throwing in the bullpen. Here it is. He swung. He's up. He went for a high pitch. No runs, no hits. One man left on. Well, we now go to the last half of the fifth inning, and it's still White Sox 1, Los Angeles nothing. You know, you could pack the Coliseum over 160 times with the men who now have switched to those instant lather shaving creams. Yes, sir, there are over 15 million of them. And the one that's right up there with the leaders is Gillette Foamy. It's jet speed in action, and what convenience. You just press the Gillette Foamy nozzle, and swish, you have billowy snow-white lather right at your fingertips. Lather so full-bodied, a little goes a long, long way. And here's a Gillette Foamy Extra, K34, the antiseptic that kills harmful bacteria. How about giving Foamy a try? Get the clean, clean feeling only a shaving cream shave can give. Gillette Foamy costs 79 cents. And you get a choice of regular Foamy or Foamy with cool, refreshing menthol added. Choose the one that you prefer at a store near you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is an extreme delight and pleasure to bring you a great friend of mine, one I've known and admired for many years, and one I'm having a chance to share the World Series with. One of the country's top sports reporters. I give you the voice of Mel Allen. Mel?
Hello there, everybody. Thank you very much, Byram Som. Maury Wills hitting eighth in the order. Leads off for the Dodgers in the last half of the fifth inning. Sandy Koufax scheduled to follow him, then Jim Gilliam. Bob Shaw's pitch is a little high, a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. White Sox leading 1-0. Their backs to the wall. Third baseman Bubba Phillips shortened up at third for the fleet Maury Wills. Shaw, the right-hander, into the windup. In comes the pitch. Swung on, bounced towards second. 2 big hops to Fox. Fox over to Kluszewski in time, and there's one away. Sandy Koufax, who rounded out to short in the third inning, coming up the bat. A touch of nostalgia in this series occurred when we watched Carl Erskine pitching batting practice. He's now dressed and standing behind Walter O'Malley, president of the Dodgers, in his box back of home plate. He set an all-time World Series record, you know, for most strikeouts in a game, 14. Bob Shaw delivers, and it's in there for a called strike to Koufax. Bat's right-handed. Erskine was with the Dodgers this season, but having some arm trouble, he just up and quit. A man with great pride, feeling he can no longer help the club. Now the pitch to Koufax. Curveball he holds up on, it's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. He thought that if he left, it would make room for someone else who could help the club. You got to respect a guy like that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bob Shaw delivers, and Koufax takes it low. Another breaking pitch, and the count is 2-1. Koufax hit 111 during the season, 6-54. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Crowded him with a fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. White Sox leading 1-0. It's the last half of the fifth inning. Now the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And Sandy Koufax goes down swinging. That's the first strikeout recorded by Bob Shaw. And here's Jim Gilliam, who's had 2 of the Dodgers' 4 hits. Single to right center and single to right. He'd only had 2 hits during the series until today. Switch hitter, bats left-handed against right-handed pitching. Shaw to the windup. In comes the pitch. It's in there for a strike. Fastball just above the knees. Greg Mullavey, coaching down at first, slaps his hands together. shouting words of encouragement now to Jim Gilliam. Pee-wee Reese coaching at third. The outfield straight away for Gilliam. Bob Shaw delivers. The left-hand batter takes it inside, belt high, and the count is 1-1. Jim McInerney in left field, Jim Landis in center, Al Smith in right, Bubba Phillips third, Louis Aparicio short, Nelson Fox second, Ted Kluszewski first base, Sherman Lollar catching, and Bob Shaw pitching. The toughest challenge in his brief Major League career. The 1-1 pitch to Gilliam, swung on, fouled off behind the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck is Charlie Neal. Bill Summers gives a new ball to Sherm Lollar. Rubs it up a touch before tossing it out to Bob Shaw. This huge throng sitting back quietly for the moment, knowing the drama that's in the making. The Dodgers can end it all today. The White Sox battling to get it back to Comiskey Park. The 1-2 pitch, swung on, a ground ball hit back through the middle into center field for the third straight hit for Gilliam. Landis up to the ball, tossing back into Fox, and Jim Gilliam has 3 for 3. That brings to the plate Charlie Neal, who fouled out in the first inning to Aparicio and singled to left in the third after narrowly missing a tremendous homer. Remember, he hit 2 at Comiskey Park. Bob Shaw to the stretch. Gilliam with the lead, 2 outs. There he goes. The pitch is high. The throw down is high, and Gilliam is safe. He slides under the tag. The Dodgers continue to play their slashing running game. Bob Shaw threw a high fastball, and Lollar's throw down to second was high. While it had Gilliam beaten, Fox had to bring it down, and in the time lost in bringing the ball down, Gilliam slid under the tag for a stolen base. That's his second steal in scoring position. The delivery inside to Neal for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. 1-0 White Sox. It's the last of the 5th. Charlie Neal hit both of his home runs off Bob Shaw. Shaw to the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Kept the ball low that time. Neal homered off Shaw in the 5th inning of the second game. And then it was his second homer in the 7th inning that knocked Shaw out after Bob had pitched tremendous ball to that point. The stretch. Gilliam leading away from second. A whirl off the mound, a bluff by Bob Shaw. And the crowd roars. Of course, it's no ball. He can bluff a throw to second. Gilliam with a good lead. The stretch. Here's the pitch to Neal, and it's low outside for ball 3. 3-1. And on deck is Wally Moon. $92,706 fans roaring. Not quite all of them. There are many White Sox fans here. Now the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the left of the plate. The curveball in tight. Full count. And remember, every Dodger run in this series has been scored with 2 out, except for Gil Hodges' game-winning homer yesterday, leading off the inning. Neal apparently cracked his bat as he swung that last pitch and hit it down on the handle. He gets a new club to swing. A full count now with 2 down, the last of the 5th inning. Jim Gilliam with 2 outs, single, stole second. Bob Shaw with a full count on Charlie Neal. Gets the sign from Sherman Lollar. Phillips deep, guarding that third baseline. Aparicio over into the hole. Fox shades toward second. Gilliam has a good lead. Shaw now to the stretch. Gilliam widens the lead. Here's the payoff pitch. Charlie Neal swings and pops it up into the air. Nelson Fox backs up some more. He's under it and has it for the out. And the side is retired. no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on. And the score, at the end of 5 innings of play, the White Sox won, the Dodgers nothing.
Do you suffer from sinus or nasal congestion? Other cold symptoms? Here's good news. Gillette Laboratories, who bring you Thorexin, the guided cough medicine, have now developed a guided decongestant cold capsule that speeds relief right to the nasal sinus area. It's Thorexin cold capsules. Thorexin cold capsules help drain your sinuses and clear up stuffy nose. They work fast to help shrink swollen membranes, clear clogged nasal passages, and relieve misery of sinus pressure. And besides relief from sinus congestion, Thorexin cold capsules give you quick relief from other annoying symptoms of colds. Sniffles, watery eyes, headache, fever, and muscular aches. So remember, at the first sign of cold or sinus congestion, get Thorexin cold capsules with the guided decongestant that speeds relief right to the nasal sinus area. Thorexin cold capsules.
Louis Aparicio leads off in the first half of the 6th inning. Fox on deck and Landis to follow. 1-0 in favor of the White Sox. Sandy Koufax delivers a little outside, ball 1. Aparicio licked at a third strike in the first inning and then singled to left in the third. The right-hand batter, Jim Gilliam, plays him in very close at third. Koufax pitches. Aparicio takes a strike. 1-1. The outfield straight away for Aparicio. Tony Cuccinello slapping his hands together down at third, encouraging Louis. In comes the pitch. Fastball is high and away. The count is 2-1. We can hear Don Gutteridge's voice coaching down at first as he hollers, "Come on." 2-1 the count on Louis. Koufax swings to the windup. Around comes the left arm. The pitch swung on. It's a high pop foul. Over to the left of the plate. Gilliam gets over, under it, and then can't get it as the ball faded away from him. He overran it, actually, as he moved over toward the White Sox dugout. You'll remember that there's a tremendous amount of foul territory off third base. As the huge Los Angeles Coliseum bellies around, there's not too much room off the first base foul line. Looking up into the sun, Gilliam racing over. Roseborough came along, too, and Gilliam sort of overran it and almost did a backflip trying to backhand the ball. A 2-2 count on Aparicio. The windup by Koufax. In comes the pitch, and it swung on. Looped over second into center. Demeter can't get it. Takes it on the first hop, and it appears as if he lost the ball momentarily. Louis holds it first. He started in, stopped, and then broke again. And this has happened to several of the outfielders on both sides with this tremendous crowd and shirt-sleeved crowd. It makes it difficult to see the ball, whether you're batting or fielding or even umpiring. Puts a tremendous test on the eyes of all the players. Aparicio singles to center. Nelson Fox up. Action in the Dodger bullpen. A throw over to first, and Louis is back. Clem Labine is throwing. And Johnny Klipstein. Now the pitch. It sails inside around the letters. 1 ball, no strikes. Nelson Fox popped to short and singled to right, leading off in the 4th inning. Went to third on Landis, single to right center, and scored as Lollar hit into a double play. 1-0 White Sox, 6th inning. Koufax to the stretch, checks Aparicio. The pitch is low and inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Now Gil Hodges asks for time, walks over from first. Johnny Roseborough moves out from behind the plate, talking to Sandy Koufax. Nellie Fox, who's always up around the leaders in the American League in most hits for the season, either leading the league or up there with them, has a total of 8 hits in this series. And he's a leader in that department. Here's the pitch to Fox. He takes a strike. 2-1. Jim Gilliam shortened up at third. Maury Wills shaded over toward second. Charlie Neal shaded over toward second. Koufax delivers now to Fox, who swings and fouls it off behind the plate up over the screen. A 2-2 count on Nellie. Jim Landis on deck. Sixth inning. Fifth game of the World Series. The Dodgers lead in games 3-1. The White Sox trying to keep the series alive, leading 1-0 in the sixth inning. Louis Aparicio on first base. Gil Hodges holding against him. Koufax to the stretch. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on. It's a pop fly into short center. Demeter moves in under it and makes the catch. Aparicio retreats to first. One away. Now coming to bat, Jim Landis, a strikeout victim in the first inning who lined a single to right center in the fourth to set up the White Sox run. The right-hand batter awaits the pitch from the left-hander, Sandy Koufax. Here it is, a high outside fastball, ball one. Now we have a left-hander starting to warm up in the Dodger bullpen, replacing Johnny Klipstein. Danny McDevitt. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's high as Louis bluffed a dash to second and points in toward the plate, which is characteristic of him. He really bluffed a dash to second. We all thought he was going, and he suddenly stopped and went back, trying to worry Koufax. 2 balls, no strikes. Outfield straight away for Landis. There's a move over to first base, and Aparicio is back. Two balls, no strikes, 1 out, 1 on in the sixth inning. White Sox leading 1-0. Left-hander Sandy Koufax to the stretch. Aparicio with the lead. The pitch into the plate, and it's over for a called strike. Fastball. Took just a little bit off of it. Landis had the take sign on, apparently. Takes another look now down at Tony Cuccinello. 2 balls, 1 strike. Landis can hit and run. I don't know whether they'll try it or not. Aparicio with the lead. Here's the pitch, and it's in there. Strike 2. A whistling fastball. Got the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Landis steps out of the batter's box for a moment, gets a little dirt on his hands. The Dodgers strikeout ace, Sandy Koufax, has a 2-2 count on Jim Landis. To the stretch. Aparicio with the lead. Here's the pitch, and it's right over. Called strike 3. On him looking. Number 5 for Koufax. Behind on the count, he burned 3 in there. And now Sherman Lollar, who grounded to third and bounced to second into a double play. Outfield around to the left, playing Lollar to pull. Koufax again to his stretch. In comes the pitch. Swung on, a ground ball hit to short. Wills up with it, flips over to Neal, forcing Aparicio. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. At the end of 5.5 innings, the score is White Sox 1, Dodgers 0. The last half of the 6th inning. Wally Moon batting third in the order will be followed by Norm Larker and Gil Hodges. The White Sox leading 1-0. And you can hear the crowd roar. As by some told you earlier, it has become standard procedure in the Coliseum for the blowing of the trumpets and the yell of charge, which comes from the Southern California rooting section. There's the idea came from. We don't have the rooting section out here. Here's the pitch to Wally Moon. He swings at the first one, grounds it to second. Fox up with it, throws over to Kluszewski, and Moon is retired. Wally Moon grounding out second to first. Fox to Kluszewski after having hit to the box and grounded to Fox previously. Norm Larker, another left-hand hitter, hit to the box and flied out to center.
young Bob Shaw of Garden City, Long Island, trying to keep the White Sox hopes alive in this World Series. Into the windup, around comes the right arm, the pitch, and it's in there for a called strike as Bill Summers goes up for the right hand. Summers umpiring in his 8th World Series, his 27th in the major leagues. Outfield straight away. Bubba Phillips fairly shortened up at third. Bob Shaw delivers, and Larker takes it. Strike call over the inside corner. Breaking pitch. 0-2. Shaw has a good fastball, slider, sinker. Mixes in a curveball. The strapping right-hander to the windup delivers. Overhand curveball. It swung on, popped up into the air into medium right center. Landis is moving under it, makes the catch. And they're 2 away. Here's Gil Hodges coming up. From our position low behind home plate, the ball went straight up in the air, had a little more carry than we immediately thought. More of a fly ball than a pop-up. Gil Hodges popped to Aparicio in short center and then tripled to right center in the 4th inning. Right-hand batter. 2 men away in the last of the 6th. Showing to the windup. In comes the pitch. And it's over. Strike 1. The 38th World Series game in which Gil Hodges has appeared. No balls, 1 strike. Here's Shaw's pitch. Hodges swings and lines one deep to left field, and it is up against the screen, played off by McEnany, throws quickly back to Aparicio, and Hodges is held to a single. And again, we had to wait. That ball was only 2 or 3 feet short, I'd say, of going over the screen. A long single to left, as it were, technically a short one. Considering the fact that 3 feet more or so it had been over. Hodges lines a single off the screen in short left field. And here's Don Demeter, who grounded to third and hit to the box. Shaw to the stretch. Hodges with the lead off first. The pitch to Demeter. Outside, ball 1. Gil Hodges now has 7 hits in the series. That was his 33rd World Series hit, considering his World Series career overall. Shaw checks the runner. The pitch to Demeter, swung on and fouled off to the left of the plate. A 1-1 count on Don Demeter. Six hits off Shaw. Hodges moves off first. Here's the pitch. Demeter swings and grounds it toward short. Aparicio scoops it up, flips to Fox, forcing Hodges at second base, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. At the end of the 6th inning, the score, White Sox 1, Dodgers nothing.
Just twist that dial and you're all set with the adjustable razor by Gillette. For shave so easy, fast and clean. So try it and see what we mean.
We pause now 30 seconds for station identification.
WGY, WGFM Schenectady. Saratoga Vichy's living carbonation never goes flat, stays sparkling, alive, to give you extra dry flavor. That's why Saratoga Vichy always tastes better. Insist on Saratoga Vichy.
Saratoga Vichy, yellow label. Saratoga Vichy, yellow label. Saratoga Vichy.
Catch dividend days at Troy Savings Bank. Right now, deposits made before October 15th earn a big 3.25% from October 1st. Free parking.
6 inning totals. White Sox 1 run, 5 hits, no errors, 3 left on. Dodgers no runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 6 men left on. In the 4th inning, Fox and Landis singled. Fox moving to third, scoring on Lollar's double play ball. And now we're ready as we move into the 7th inning with Ted Kluszewski leading off. Sandy Koufax pitches a curveball over, strike 1. Good breaking curve.
Smith and Phillips to follow. Klazuski flied to left and flied to center. It's the 7th inning. Koufax shakes off a sign, okays the next one. Here comes the pitch, and it's a ball. He took a little bit off the fastball, and it was just wide of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Third baseman Jim Gilliam plays way over toward shortstop. The 1-1 delivery to Klugh is swung on, looped over short into left. Larker moves in under it and makes the catch. 1 away as Big Klugh hit the opposite way trying to hit the screen. Now Al Smith flied to left and struck out. One to nothing favor the White Sox in the 7th inning. Koufax into the windup. Around comes the left arm. The pitch is low. Ball 1. They give Smith plenty of room in right center. Larker and Demeter shaded well over toward the left field line. Wally Moon just a little bit toward right center. Koufax delivers to Smitty. Curveball over. Strike 1. 1-1. Seventh inning. Sandy Koufax all set to work. Here's the pitch to Al Smith. He swings and fouls it back out of play into the stands. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Chicago White Sox appearing in their 4th World Series. They beat the Cubs in 1906, 4-2. The Giants in 1917, 4-2, and lost to Cincinnati in 1919 in a 9-game series, 5-3. The 1-2 pitch is a ball, curve, just missed. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Koufax to the windup. Around comes the left arm. The curveball is swung on and grounded foul down the third base line. Koufax struck out Smith in the 5th inning on curveballs in tight on the handle. The Dodgers appearing in their 10th World Series. Having lost 8 out of 9, they're well ahead in this one, 3-1. Now the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Outer to fastball bind. 6 strikeouts for Sandy Koufax, who had the best strikeout average of any major league starter in 1959, had 173 and 153 innings, an average of better than 10 per 9 innings. His lifetime average, a little better than 8 per 9 innings. Now Bubba Phillips, single to left and grounded to short. Right-hand batter steps in. Koufax delivers to Phillips, who swings and fouls it off to the left of the plate. Curveball in on the handle. When Koufax isn't wild, he's tough. And he hasn't been wild today. Southpaw delivers now to Bubba Phillips, who takes it inside. Almost was hit by the pitch as he started to stride into it. It was in too tight. 1-1 the count. Again, the crowd settles down vocally, ready to roar. 1 ball, 1 strike. Koufax delivers now to Bubba Phillips, who swings and lifts a foul behind the plate out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jim McInerney on deck. A 1-2 count on Bubba Phillips. Little All-America halfback at Mississippi Southern in his intercollegiate days. And a severe crouch leaning over the plate. In comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, hit up into the air into right center. Don Demeter goes over and makes the catch, and he almost dropped the ball. Just as he caught it, he turned his body quickly and shook his head. The sun bothered him. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left off. At the end of 6.5 innings, the score is White Sox 1, the Dodgers nothing. You know, no sport event in America generates as much excitement as a World Series. And no razor anywhere has made as big a hit as the new Gillette 195 adjustable. But just a few days after it was introduced, retailer after retailer was completely sold out. Even now, it's hard to keep up with the demand. What a remarkable shaving instrument it is. Imagine a razor you can adjust to match your skin and beard exactly. A micrometer dial on the handle sets to 9 different degrees of edge exposure and angle. Each exposure is numbered. At the lower numbers, you expose less blade edge. As you dial to the higher numbers, you get more and more edge. This choice means you get the most comfortable shaves of your life. Fast, clean shaves that last. And that's positively guaranteed or your money back. See the Gillette 195 adjustable first chance you get. It costs $1.95, complete with dispenser of Gillette Blue Blades and travel case. And the roar of the Charge in the background as the Dodgers come to bat in the last half of the 7th inning. Johnny Roseboro hitting 7th in the order. Maury Wills on deck. Sandy Koufax scheduled to follow, but we have action in the Dodger bullpen. A quick glance, I believe it's Stan Williams by, but right now here's Johnny Roseboro, left-hand batter. Bob Shaw's pitch. Curve is in there for a called strike, a slow curve. Roseboro grounded to second and popped out to Aparicio. Bob Shaw turns around, says something to Fox. Outfield straight away. The right-hander in the wind-up. In comes the pitch. Fastball is outside, and the count is 1-1. He got Roseboro out last time on nice change-up, slow curves. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the hand clapping of the thousands. And the 1-1 pitch to Johnny Roseboro. Change-up is high and inside. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Davey Reese coaching at third, slapping his hands together. Greg Mullavey coaching down at first, whistling, slapping his hands together. The crowd starting to roar. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Johnny Roseboro, and it swung on and popped up into the air into short left. Aparicio out, moving in. Jim McInerney, he's under it, and he's got it. And there's one away. Maury Wills, who grounded short and grounded second, started up to the plate, turns and goes back to the dugout. And we'll see whether or not we'll have a pinch hitter for Maury Wills. Chuck Kosijan. Chuck Kosijan will hit for Maury Wills. Chuck Kosijan, who's dramatically in the second game of the World Series, off Bob Shaw with 2 down in the 7th inning, and with the White Sox at that point leading 2-1, hit a 3-1 pitch for a home run into the left center field stands at Comiskey Park. Only the 7th man in the history of the World Series to achieve a pinch hit homer. Former Stanford football player who we first saw doing a Stanford game in the Rose Bowl. Right-hand batter, here's the pitch. And it's in there for a strike, fastball. 5'11", 200-pounder. Walt Alston continues to play his hunches. Kosijan making his 3rd appearance in the series as a pinch hitter. Shaw delivers. The pitch is low and away for a ball. Kosijan homered and struck out in his 2 previous appearances. And on deck is Duke Snider, whose ailing knee has kept him out of action here in Los Angeles. Bob Shaw to the windup. In comes the pitch, and Kosijan swings and misses on a breaking pitch. 1-2 the count. Stan Williams will be the new Dodger pitcher. He's warming up. 1 down, Kosijan hitting for Wills, and Snyder's on deck to hit for Koufax. Last of the seventh, White Sox trying to hold on to a 1-0 lead. In comes the pitch, and it's low outside into the dirt. A 2-2 count on the Season. Tension everywhere. Dodgers aiming to wrap it up. The White Sox seeking to keep it alive and send the series back to Chicago. Now the 2-2 pitch on its way to the right-hand batter. And it's low outside for ball 3. Bob Shaw working extra carefully. A full count now in the Season. Three balls, 2 strikes. Shaw swings to the windup. Around comes the right arm. The payoff pitch. Season takes it low. Ball 4. And he's aboard. And that's the first base on balls given up by Bob Shaw. And we're going to have a runner for the Season. While Duke Snyder comes up to hit for Sandy Koufax. Don Zimmer going in to run for a Season. And Duke Snyder steps up to bat for Sandy Koufax. Snyder has 1 for 6 in the first 2 games. Shaw's pitch to the Duke. It's low and inside, ball 1. Snyder appeared in the first 2 games in Chicago. An ailing knee would not respond to treatment. And so he's had to sit out the 2 games here, but now appears as a pinch hitter. 1 away in the last of the 7th. Bob Shaw checks the runner. The pitch swung on. A ground ball hit to Aparicio. Over to Fox for 1. Back on to first. It's safe at first base. Snyder limping down to first. Beat the relay from Fox. And so the Dodgers are still alive in the 7th inning. As Snyder grounded to Aparicio. Zimmer helped bump Fox, of course, as he attempted to pivot, and he didn't get too much steam behind his throw. So it's a force out at second. Snyder on first base, and we'll have a base runner for him. It'll be Johnny Padres. Johnny Padres will run for Snyder. Donovan and Pierce start to warm up in the bullpen for the White Sox as Jim Gilliam steps up, and he's had 3 for 3. Single to right center. He singled to right. He singled to center. A switch hitter batting left-handed against Bob Shaw. 2 away in the last of the 7th. Shaw's pitch is low, ball 1, a sinker. Stan Williams has finished warming up and is walking into the Dodger dugout from the bullpen along the right field line. Time call for a moment. Jim Gilliam steps out of the batter's box. Somebody apparently hollering something out to Bill Summers. Now we're set to continue. Padres leads away from first, running for Snyder. They pitch to Gilliam. Curve is low and inside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. And Charlie Neal is the on-deck man. Bob Shaw now digs at the dirt out in front of the rubber. Outfield straight away. The White Sox just narrowly missing the double play. And that could be a big play, too. We'll see. 2 balls, no strikes. Padres moves off first. Here's Shaw's pitch to Gilliam. It's in there. Fastball, strike 1, 2-1. In these tight games, the double play is a tremendous weapon. 1-0. Favor the White Sox. Last of the 7th, 2 outs. Padres off first. In comes the pitch. Gilliam swings and loops it down the left field line. And the ball is up against the screen for a base hit. Padres stops at second. McInerney whips a throw into Aparicio. And Jim Gilliam has his 4th consecutive base hit. And the batter now is Charlie Neal. 4 consecutive hits. time to run over to second base to talk to Johnny Padres. Gilliam, who'd had only 2 for 16 in this series until today, has gone 4 for 4. And here's Charlie Neal, who fouled to third, single to left, and popped out to second. Sherman Lollar goes out to talk to Bob Shaw. Secondary intelligence, the 4th straight single by Gilliam ties the World Series record for most one-base hits in a game, 4. And now Al Lopez is coming out of the White Sox dugout to talk to Bill Summers. And let's see. He's going to make a defensive change, I believe. Al Smith in right field is moving over to left. Jim Rivera is going to go to right field, and Jim McInerney will be coming out. While Donovan and Pierce warm up, a defensive change. Al Smith is moving over to left to give the White Sox a stronger throwing arm in left field with the pull-hitting Charlie Neal up. And Jim Rivera goes to right field. Rivera will hit 8th in the order in place of McInerney, who's out. And now to the drama. 1-0. White Sox, 7th inning. Padres on second. Gilliam on first. 2 outs. White Sox trying to stay alive in the series. The Dodgers trying to end it all. Shaw to the stretch. Here's the pitch to Charlie Neal. He swings and misses. Strike 1. A sharp breaking pitch. And again, your mind has to go back to the failure to make the double play in this inning on Olympic Duke Snyder, who hit the ball to short. And now the stretch, and the 2 men lead away. And the pitch to Charlie Neal, and it's just inside for a ball. 1-1 the count. The same Charlie Neal who belted 2 homers off Bob Shaw in the second game of the series. And the second one drove him to cover. And it was in the very same inning, the 7th. And there were 2 outs. And the Dodgers were trailing by 1 run, just as they are now. Padres leads away from second. Gilliam from first. The stretch by Shaw. The pitch to Charlie Neal. And it's a wild pitch that gets away from Lollar. On to third goes Padres, and down to second goes Gilliam. Apparently, Shaw and Lollar got crossed up. It was not a wild pitch in the sense of a pitch thrown over the head or out of reach or out of range. It was in tight to the hitter. And apparently, Shaw misread Lollar's sign. This is speculation on our part, but it was not a pitch that was out of range in the normal acceptance or understanding of a wild pitch. Lollar out to talk to Shaw. A 2-1 count. We have not had word as to how the officials call it, either fastball or wild pitch. Official scorers are talking it over. In the meanwhile, there are 2 men in scoring position. 2 outs. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Charlie Neal, and it is high for ball 3. 3-1. And the crowd is roaring. Johnny Padres running for Snyder on third. Jim Gilliam on second. 1-0 favor of the White Sox. Last half of the 7th inning. 5th game of the World Series. Shaw to the windup. Around comes the right arm. The pitch to Neal. Swung on and fouled off to the right of the plate over to the Dodger dugout. And it's a full count, 3-2. And the on-deck man is Wally Moon. Bob Shaw with a new ball now to work with. Standing on the hill. Pulls up the visor of his cap. Padres on third, Gilliam on second. 2 down, 3 balls, 2 strikes on Charlie Neal. The runners widen their leads. The windup, the payoff pitch, and it's swung on. There's a guy to deep right center. Landis digging hard, and the ball is caught by Rivera. Screen, a tremendous catch by Jim Rivera as he raced over from right field to a 400-foot point in deep right center. An electrifying catch by Jim Rivera. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on. And at the end of 7 innings, the score remains the White Sox 1, the Dodgers nothing. Jim Rivera coming to bat in the 8th inning. And so often when a man makes a fine catch in the field, he's the first man to come to bat. Jim Landis, with all his speed, was angling on that ball into right center when Jim Rivera, another speed merchant, sort of loomed up almost from out of range and grabbed that ball near the 400-foot mark in deep right center. And now we move into the 8th inning. The White Sox leading 1-0. And Jim Rivera, who replaced Jim McInerney, while Charlie Neal was at bat, swings and misses as Stan Williams is now the pitcher. We told you he was coming in. Williams, a right-hander. In comes the next pitch, fastball, and it's inside and high for a ball. Stan Williams, one of the no wind-up type pitchers, a la Don Larson, for those of you who have followed World Series history and remember the no wind-up that Don used in his perfect game, and Bob Turley as well. Williams' pitch is a fastball high outside. Williams, in 35 appearances during the season, won 5 and lost 5. He's a good hard thrower. Tall right-hander, 6'4". He delivers. It's swung on and fouled back to the screen. 2-2 count now on Jim Rivera. Bob Shaw is the next scheduled batter, and then Louis Aparicio. The White Sox scored their run in the 4th inning on singles by Fox and Landis. Fox speeding to third, scoring as Lollar bounced into a double play. Stan Williams ready, and the pitch. But look out, it's in tight to Rivera. Had to jump away from the plate. Full count now, 3-2. Williams throws a fine sinker. Ready for the payoff pitch. Here it is, and Jim Rivera takes high for ball 4. Bob Shaw is due up. Sandy Koufax in 7 innings gave up 5 hits, walked 1, and struck out 6, and gave up 1 run. A tremendous performance by the left-hander. Walt Alston had to go for the pinch hitter, and now he's going for more action in his bullpen. Meantime, we're seeing what Al Lopez is going to do, and Bob Shaw is coming up. Bob Shaw sacrificed and struck out. Labine and McDevitt warming up now for the Dodgers. Jim Gilliam shortened up at third. Stretched by Williams, check to the runner, throw over to first, and Rivera's back. Jim, pretty good base runner. Good speed. Williams to his stretch. And the pitch. It's bunted and fouled to the right of the plate. Gil Hodges now swings back around the mound, says something to Williams. 1 strike to count on Bob Shaw. Williams again to the stretch. Rivera with the lead off first. There goes Neal running over back of him, and the ball is bunted, and Hodges' play is to first base to Neal to sacrifice Hodges to Neal. We had to call the play because before the release of the pitch by the pitcher, Charlie Neal started running at top speed toward first base. And there's a pickoff play like that as the first baseman charges the plate. And sometimes a pitch out and they fire down to first to the second baseman, pick the runner off. But the ball was bunted and Shaw sacrifices Rivera to second. Hodges to Neal. And the batter now is Louis Aparicio. And Louis took a third strike, single to left and single to center. Nelson Fox on deck. The eighth inning, White Sox leading 1-0. Battling valiantly to cling to the lead. It's a do-or-die situation for the White Sox. Stan Williams' pitch to Aparicio is in there for a called strike. Stan Williams, 23 years old, a native of Enfield, New Hampshire, makes his home in Los Angeles now. 6'4", weighs 225 pounds. Pitches to Aparicio, who swings and sends a little roller out toward second. Neal charges it up with it, flipped to Hodges in time for the out as Rivera advances to third. Louis Aparicio, swinging late on the changeup, started to take the pitch and then try to hit it to right field. It's ground slowly to second. And here's Nelson Fox, who popped to short. Single to right, scored the only run of the ball game, and flied to center. Outfield toward left and center left, straightaway right, a lot of room in right center. Jim Gilliam way in at third. Jim Rivera on third, 2 outs now in the eighth inning. Stan Williams delivers to Fox, who takes it inside, ball one. Started to swing and held off. Nellie with a big chew, poking his left cheek out. Chokes up on that bat. Williams ready. Here's the pitch to Fox, and it's high. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Jim Landis is on deck. Don Zimmer in at shortstop, playing over near second. Here's the pitch, and it's very high. Ball 3. Don Zimmer, having replaced Maury Wills, as Esigian hit for Wills, you'll recall, and Zimmer went in to run for Esigian. Three 0 count now on Fox. Rivera comes up the line, stops. The pitch is high, ball 4, and Fox walks. They don't want to give Foxy anything too good to hit at. Second pass issued by Williams, and now Walt Alston comes out of the dugout as Roseboro and Zimmer move to the mound to talk to the young right-hander. McDevitt and Levine warming up. Jim Landis is the next White Sox batter. Alston talking it over. Nellie Fox with 8 hits, leading all the players in total hits in the series. And Williams being very careful with him, walking. And now Bill Summers walks out from behind home plate to see what Walt Alston's going to do. The conference is broken up. They're going to leave Williams in. Jim Rivera on third. Nelson Fox on first. 2 men out. First half of the 8th inning. White Sox 1, the Dodgers nothing. Jim Landis at bat. He struck out in the first inning, single to right center in the 4th to set up the Dodger run, and took a third strike in the 6th. Williams to the stretch. The pitch to the right-hand batter. Swung on. There's a liner into center. Don Demner goes back, still going back, and makes the catch. And he almost lost the ball. And the side is retired. Again, he lost the ball, but picked it up in time. No run, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on. At the end of 7.5 innings, the score is White Sox 1, the Dodgers nothing. Well, the winner's share of this series is going to be taken from a total of $892,365.04. The nice bonus these fellows are going to pick up, 60% of it to the winners, 40% to the losers. And yet every dollar of it couldn't buy you a shaving instrument that would deliver as much comfort as that remarkable new Gillette adjustable razor. And let me tell you why. You adjust this razor to match your own personal shaving requirements. Your beard may be light or heavy, your skin tender or tough. This razor handles them all with speed and comfort. Real comfort. You see, there's a micrometer dial on the handle with 9 numbered settings. Turn the dial to the lower numbers, you have less blade edge. At the higher numbers, you expose more. It's that easy to find the setting to give you clean shaves. Cool, refreshing shaves that last and last. And you can't lose, because if you don't agree that the Gillette Adjustable is the finest shaving razor you've ever owned, Gillette will refund the entire purchase price. The Gillette Adjustable, complete with dispenser of Gillette Blue Blades and modern travel case, costs only $1.95. See it at a store near you. Last half of the 8th inning. Wally Moon batting third in the order. Norm Larker on deck and Gil Hodges to follow. 1-0 White Sox. Bob Shaw to the windup. Around comes to the right arm. The pitch to Wally Moon. It's in there. Strike one. Moon bounced the box, grounded to second twice. Bubba Phillips shortened up at third. Shaw again to the windup. Around comes the right arm. Here's the pitch. Curveballs fouled back to the screen. Strike 2, 0-2. Outfield playing Moon straight away. Hits to all fields. No balls, 2 strikes. Phillips is deep and somewhat now at third. Bob Shaw pitches. Wally Moon swings and fouls it off again in behind the plate into the stands. Count remains. No balls, 2 strikes. A tight, tense World Series game in Los Angeles. Once again, the 2-strike pitch on its way. Wally Moon swings and fouls another one off, and it's over near the White Sox dugout and out of play. Count remains. No balls, 2 strikes. Sherman Lollar tossing the ball back to Shaw. Ball bounced away from him. Nellie Fox picks it up and then rolls it back into the plate when Bill Summers asked to look it over and tosses it out. Puts a new ball in play. $92,706 fans moving to the edges of their respective chairs here in the Los Angeles Coliseum. Last of the 8th inning. Again, the 2-strike pitch on its way to Wally Moon. Swung on. There's a fly ball into center. Jim Landis moving in, and he loses the ball in the sun. And there goes Moon to second, and he goes back to first. He lost the ball in the sun. I told you about Don Demmer, who almost lost the last out in the first of the 8th inning. And here, a routine fly ball. Jim Landis was settling under it, and suddenly he went to his knees, and the ball dropped. And it is scored as a base hit for Moon. Donovan and Pierce warming up. A tough break for Bob Shaw. A great break for the Dodgers. And here now is Norm Larker, who hit to the box. Fly to left center and to right center. Bob Shaw, a heroic figure, suffers a tough break. Here's the pitch to Larker. He takes it inside for a ball as he shortens up as if to bunt. Head Phillips charging the plate. In a short series and in tight games, it only takes one little break to turn the tide. And now the Dodgers have a runner on first with nobody out. 1-0 White Sox, last half of the 8th inning. Norm Larker at bat. Shaw ready. Here's the pitch to the left-hand batter. He started a bunt, held off, and the pitch was inside. Now let's see what they called it. And Bill Summers calls it a strike. Yes, it's a strike, he says. He bunted at it, and it's 1-1. There was some doubt. He hollered over to the White Sox bench. Ed Hurley out at second, 1-2. 1 ball, 1 strike. Norm Larker, a great bunter. Now the stretch and the pitch, and he takes it low and inside, and the ball almost hit him. Ball 2, 2-1. Pounding hearts, and there's a lot of them. 92,706, and that does not include the working press, radio, and television, and their associates. 2 balls, 1 strike. Moon leads away from first. Here's the pitch, and it's low inside for ball 3. 3-1 the count now on Larker, who that time had the back cock ready to swing. Donovan and Pierce warming up. 3 balls, 1 strike. Bob Shaw to the stretch. Wally Moon off first. There he goes. The pitch is swung on and grounded foul down the first base line. Strike 2. Full count now on Larker. Jim Landis walking around out in center field. A forlorn figure at the moment. But as we've had occasion several times in this series here in the Coliseum, the outfielders are having trouble picking up the ball with a tough background, a high sky, and the sun. Full count now on Norm Larker. Nobody out. Moon leading away from first, the stretch. And Shaw steps off the rubber. White Sox 1, Dodgers nothing. Dodgers leading in games 3-1. Trying to wrap up the series. The White Sox trying to keep it alive. Shaw to the stretch. Moon with the lead. The pitch is swung on, hit foul down the first base line. Moon was not running. He waited till the ball was hit. And it was hit hard but foul down the first base line. The count remains 3-2. On deck, Gil Hodges. Three balls, 2 strikes. Once again, the stretch by Shaw. Wally Moon leading away. There he goes. The pitch is swung on as a fly ball, and Rivera, shading his eyes from the sun, makes the catch. Tag up by Moon, but he does not go. The throw quickly goes into Aparicio. 1 away, and here's Gil Hodges coming up. And even on that fly ball, Jim Rivera, while they're using the sunglasses, still put his hand up to shade his eyes, and we're wondering whether or not he might have been in trouble. Wally Moon saw that he was getting onto the ball and raced back to first to tag up, thinking to get Rivera napping just a little bit. But Jim fired that ball right on into second. Now here's Gil Hodges. The pitch, low outside, ball 1. Gil Hodges, who popped out to Aparicio in short center, tripled to right center, and singled to left. 2 for 3. 1 on and 1 out. Wally Moon, good base runner. Power at the plate. Bob Shaw sets, checks the runner. Here's the pitch. And it's in there for a strike, and the count is 1-1. And the drama builds and heightens with every pitch. Bubba Phillips deep at third, guarding the line. Lou Aparicio shaded into the third base hole. Nellie Fox 4 strides to the right of second. Kozuski holding against Moon. The outfield deep around to the left. Tremendous lot of room along the right field line if Hodges should poke an outside pitch. Now the stretch. Moon with the lead. Here's the delivery. Swung on. There's a drive deep to left field, and it is a foul ball. A foul ball as Gil Hodges belted one deep over the screen into the left field stand. And we had to wait for Al Dixon, the National League umpire, to give it the call, and now Al Lopez comes out of the dugout to the mound. Boy, did he tee off on that one. Gil Hodges, who hit the home run yesterday that broke the tie and won the game, almost did it again. It was in the 8th inning when he led off with a homer. And now Al Lopez talking to Shaw. Lollar out there too. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Hodges. Al Lopez, a very shrewd manager who in 2 World Series and in 9 games has seen his team get the breaks only in 1 game. That was the first one in this series. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wally Moon leads away from first. Here's the pitch to Hodges. Just outside, ball 2, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. White Sox 1, Dodgers nothing, and it's the last of the 8th. Don Demeter is on deck. Bob Shaw, a great competitor, pitching his heart out into the stretch. Moon with a good lead off first. Here's the pitch to Hodges. Swung on, bounced down to third, foul. And the count remains 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Wally Moon trots back to first. Tension broken momentarily. If anybody gets any further over to the edges of their respective chairs and seats, they'll fall off of them, including us. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Moon with the lead off first, 1 out. Shaw ready. Here's the pitch to Hodges. Swung on as a bouncer. Fox can't get it. The single into center. Moon round second, is right to third. Here's the throw. And he is safe at third, and Hodges goes to second. Of second base. Just inches away from the outstretched glove of Nellie Fox. Just inches between a double play and a base hit. And Wally Moon raced on to third, just barely beating Jim Landis' great throw. And Hodges took second on the play. And now Pee Wee Reese runs up from third base to talk to Don Demeter. And while he's talking to him, Byram Som, that ball that Hodges hit, well hit, a clean base hit. But Fox's glove couldn't have been inches away from it.
Well, you're so right. Many of us thought he might get to the ball. First, quite a clutch hitter, this Skill Hodges. And now a real jam for Shaw. And let's see, Mel, what strategy dictates here in the 8th inning. 1-0, Chicago still leading.
Don Demeter due to bat, but Ron Fairley is coming out of the dugout, a left-handed batter, to hit for Don Demeter. Donovan and Pierce continue to heat up. Ron Fairley, 0 for 3 in the series. Hit .238 during the regular season, appearing in 118 games. And now Al Lopez is coming out of the dugout. And it's going to be, I believe, Billy Pierce, with Ron Fairley coming up to hit for Don Demeter. And so the Dodgers taking advantage of this break starting the inning when Jim Landis lost Wally Moon's fly ball in the sun. Forced Bob Shaw to leave the mound, Billy Pierce to come in. A round of applause for an heroic figure, Bob Shaw. And as Billy Pierce comes to the mound, we pause now 30 seconds for station identification.
World Series time, party time, or any time your thirst demands bright, refreshing satisfaction, Treat yourself to genuine Saratoga Vichy. Enjoy its extra dry flavor and sparkling tang now.
Saratoga Vichy, Yellow Label. Saratoga Vichy, Yellow Label. Saratoga Vichy.
Only 10 more days till the 1960 Plymouth is unwrapped at Schenectady, Plymouth. It's the sweetest package of power out of Detroit. Don't miss it. October 16th at Schenectady, Plymouth, 1016 State Street, Schenectady. WGYWG-FM Schenectady.
And Rip Rapolsky is going to be sent up to hit for Ron Fairley, who was to have hit for Don Demeter. Bob Shaw worked 7 1/3 innings, giving up 9 hits. He walked 1 man and struck out 1. So far has not been charged with any runs, but is responsible, of course, for the 2 men aboard on 2nd and 3rd. Rip Rapolsky, a right-hand batter, who in 53 games batted .255. Johnny Roseboro is the next scheduled batter, and they're going to walk Rapolsky with first base open. Rapolsky is to get the intentional pass with first base open. With Moon on 3rd and Hodges on 2nd. Last of the 8th inning. 1 out and 1-0 White Sox. Billy Pierce pitches the 4th wideman now to Rip Rapolsky. And here's Johnny Roseboro coming up. Pierce worked in relief yesterday. Now, wait a minute. Johnny Roseboro may not hit, and let's see who it'll be. Carl Furillo. Carl Furillo is coming up to hit for the Dodgers. Carl Furillo, who singled in the 7th inning of the 3rd game, drove in 2 runs. To put the Dodgers out in front. With the score at that point tied 0-0. To help and a pinch hitting role to win 2 key games in the Dodgers fight for the pennant, and got the key hit in the final playoff game. And Al Lopez now is walking out to the mound once more. And the wheels are turning here in the 8th inning. Al Lopez pulling out all stops, trying to keep the White Sox hopes alive. And Dick Donovan's coming in. The rules say that an incoming pitcher, unless he's injured, must pitch to 1 batter. Pierce did. He walked Rapolsky. And Dick Donovan's coming in now with Furillo coming up to hit for Roseboro. Al Lopez is playing this one the way he has to play it, on the basis of there is no tomorrow if he can't win this one. And Dick Donovan comes on to pitch in the 8th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out. And Carl Furillo to be the pinch hitter. Dick Donovan, who was so brilliant in the 3rd game of the series when he went 6 2/3 innings in blanking the Dodgers, but then had to leave the game after walking 2 men in the 7th inning with 2 out and 1 on to load the bases. And then it was that Furillo singled off Staley, hitting a ball just out of the reach of Louis Aparicio that won the ball game. And Larry Sherry now gets out of the Dodger dugout and goes down to the bullpen. Well, it has been a long time since Gil Hodges singled. And the wheels have been turning. Walt Alston pulling out all stops as well to try and wrap it up today. Dick Donovan still warming up. The White Sox scored in the fourth inning when Fox and Landis singled. Fox racing to third, scoring as Lollar hit into a double play. Bob Shaw pitching magnificently, the victim of a bad break as this eighth inning began when Wally Moon's routine fly ball was lost in the sun by Jim Landis, and it gave the Dodgers an opening. And after Locker flied to right, Gil Hodges singled. Moon racing to third, outlegging the throw by Landis, and Hodges took second. And then Fairley came up to hit for Demeter. Pierce came in, and Rapolsky went in to hit for Fairley, and Pierce walked him. The bases are loaded, and Perillo's up to hit for Roseboro, and Donovan has replaced Pierce. Moon on third, Hodges on second. Rapolsky on first, one out, last of the eighth inning. The windup, the pitch to Carl Perillo, and it's low, ball one. Carl Perillo in his 38th World Series game. A great clutch hitter, three men laid away. Here's the pitch, and it's in there for a strike, and the count is 1-1. Carl hit .290 this year, appeared in 50 games. Bothered by a pulled muscle. He was injured not too long after the season began. Larry Sherry warming up now in the Dodger bullpen. Three men aboard here in the last of the eighth and one out. Moon and Hodges and Rapolsky lead away. Dick Donovan ready. Here's the pitch to Perillo. Swings and pops it up in the air off to the right of the plate near the stands. And whether Lollar can get it or not, right at the screen. Hits the screen. He can't get it. There's not much room behind the plate. And the ball coming down just nicked the screen as Lollar was there waiting for it. And so Perillo is still alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and again, just a matter of inches. And in this inning, it's all been a matter of inches. As Landis just lost sight of the ball at the last fraction. Hodges' base hit just out of reach of Nellie Fox. Moon beating Landis' throw to third just by inches. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Moon off third, Hodges off second. Rapolsky off first. Big Clue in close. Donovan gets his sign. Moon starts up the line. 3 men lead away. The pitch to Perillo swung on. It's a pop-up, and the infield fly rule is called. The batter's automatically out. Phillips makes the catch, and the runners hold, and there are 2 away. Under the infield fly rule, which says that with runners on first and second, or first, second, and third, with less than 2 out, if the batter hits a pop-up, which in the judgment of the umpire and the plate umpire usually calls, it can be handled by an infielder. The batter is automatically out, a rule designed to protect the base runners, to keep the infielders from deliberately dropping the ball or letting it drop to start either a double or triple play. And now Don Zimmer comes to bat. Little Don Zimmer, a courageous player, injured several times in his career, but a plucky ball player, hitting on the season only 165. Right-hand batter. 2 down now in the last of the 8th. Moon on third, and Hodges on second, and Rapolsky on first. And Don Zimmer, right-hand hitter at the plate. Dick Donovan's pitch to Zimmer, and it's in there for a call strike. And the drama builds in the last of the 8th in the Los Angeles Coliseum. With 92,706. And again, we say, as we have each day here, this is the largest crowd ever to see a World Series game, as the record has been broken each day and each succeeding day. 1 strike to count. Moon off third, Hodges off second, Rapolsky off first. Donovan delivers, and Zimmer swings and sends a fly ball to short left. Al Smith waiting for it, runners running, and Smith takes the catch for the out, and Dick Donovan turns in a tremendous bit of clutch pitching in the 8th inning. No run, 2 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on.
At the end of the 8th inning, the score is White Sox 1, the Dodgers nothing.
Just twist that dial, and you're all set with the adjustable razor by Gillette. The shave's so easy, fast and clean. So try it and see what I mean.
Joe Pignatano comes in to catch as we go to the 9th inning, replacing Johnny Roseboro, for whom Carl Perillo batted. Stan Williams still doing the pitching. And as we check around, Norm Larker in left. Rip Rapolsky is going to right field. Wally Moon has shifted over to center. Moon has gone to center, Demeter out. And Rapolsky in right field. For the White Sox in the 9th inning, Sherm Lollar, hitting 4th in the order, will be followed by Ted Kluszewski and Al Smith. Lollar grounded to 3rd, grounded to 2nd into a double play, and grounded to short. Nothing for 3. Stan Williams, who replaced Koufax in the 8th inning, right-hander, delivers outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 9th inning, White Sox 1, Dodgers nothing. Strapping right-hander without the wind-up pitches. It's fouled off to the right of the plate on a check swing. Strike 1, 1-1. In the last half of the 9th inning, if you wish to look ahead, the pitcher is due up first, and then Gilliam and Neal. One ball, 1 strike on Lollar. Stan Williams delivers. Lollar swings and pops it up in the air, coming back behind the plate. Pignatano comes back toward the screen, and the ball is on the screen, and Lollar has another chance. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That last half of the 8th inning was one of the most dramatic, certainly in World Series history, considering that a victory for the Dodgers ends the series. And how the wheels were turning, with Al Lopez and Walt Alston going with wide open throttle. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Lollar. Williams delivers, and Sherman Lollar takes strike 3 call over the outside corner. First strikeout for Williams. Now Ted Kluszewski flied to left and center and left. Nothing for 3. In a way, it's difficult to believe that this ball game could end 1-0 in this ballpark. And of course, it still may not. Here's the pitch to Kluszewski, and it's low and inside, ball 1. Larry Sherry warming up. Williams pitches to Klue, swings and hits a ground ball to short. Actually, it's gobbled up by Gilliam. The throw to first in time with Gilliam playing way over at short as they're overshifted on Kluszewski, and Zimmer way over towards second, and Gilliam actually made the play, though the ball was hit in the shortstop area. 2 down, and Al Smith coming up. Flied to left and struck out twice. One to nothing, White Sox, 9th inning. Williams delivers to Al. Fastball outside, ball 1. Joe Pignatano
who replaced Roseboro back to the plate. Thought that one might have been called a strike. 1-0 the count on Al Smith. Now the delivery. Swung on and fouled off. Went for a sinker pitch. 1-1 the count. Just trying to wonder whom the Dodgers might use for a pinch hitter if they use one in the last of the ninth, with the pitcher due up first. We don't know just where Pignatano is hitting in the order, actually. He might have been put in the ninth spot. Here's the pitch, and it's inside for a ball. No, Williams is in the ninth spot. So it will be the pitcher due up first. Two balls, one strike on Al Smith. Next delivery, swung on, hit foul, back to plate, out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 2-2 count on Al Smith. Williams ready. And the delivery. And it's inside for ball 3. Full count. Smitty steps out of the batter's box. The Dodgers already have used 18 men. White Sox 12 as we check quickly. Now the payoff pitch. Swung on, a ground ball hit to short. Zimmer up with it. Tosses on to Hodges in time, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left off. And the score at the end of 8 1/2 innings of play. The White Sox won, the Dodgers nothing. And so we go to the last half of the 9th inning. 92,706. And they're standing up here as we get ready to go to the last of the ninth. Will the White Sox be able to hold up for that 1-0 lead as Dick Donovan walks out to the mound? Will the Dodgers succeed in tying it up or winning it in the last of the ninth? With the World's Championship at stake, if they win it, it's all over. And the immediate question, who will bat as we lead off here in the last of the ninth? Walt Austin already has used Fairley and Rapolsky. And it's going to be Larry Sherry, who has been brilliant in this series. Tremendous relief pitching. Hitting .219 on the season. Will bat for Williams. Destiny in this series. Larry Sherry, who hit .219 on the season, 7 for 32, now walks back to the Dodger dugout. Snyder, Esigian, Barillo, Fairley, Rapolsky all were used, and Padres, who's a pretty good hitting pitcher, was used as a pinch runner. So here's Larry Sherry leading off now in the last of the ninth. Dick Donovan, who pitched tremendous ball in the clutch with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 8th to retire the side. The right-hander delivers. Larry Sherry swings and misses. Strike 1. Jim Gilliam on deck and Charlie Neal to follow. Stay with us. Hang in there. Dick Donovan leans in, looks for the sign.
Brings the arms up around the letters, whirls the body. Here's the pitch. It's swung on to the roller. Hit down the third baseline. Foul. Strike two. 0-2 the count. Larry Sherry walking down from first base back to the plate. He's a big fellow. 6'2", 192. No balls, 2 strikes. Dick Donovan ready. Here's the pitch on its way now to Larry Sherry, and it is swung on and hit the third. Phillips up with it. Throws on to first base to Clue in time. And that ball almost took a bad hop on Phillips. And there's one away in the last of the 9th inning. And here's Jim Gilliam, who's had 4 for 4. He's singled to right center. He's singled to right. He's singled to center, and he's singled to left. He's hit them everywhere today. He's sprayed 4 hits around the park. The switch hitter batting left-handed against Donovan. And Charlie Neal is on deck. And it's the last of the 9th inning. The White Sox trying to cling to the 1-0 lead, hoping to get back in their own ballpark. Now Donovan ready. And the pitch to Gilliam. And it's in there for a strike fastball. Donovan goes to the rosin bag. Taking a little time now, blows in his pitching hand. Hitches up his trousers, tosses down the rosin bag, steps up on the rubber. Gilliam choking up on that bat just a little bit. Here's Donovan's delivery, and Gilliam swings and hits it foul. Back up third, out of play. Strike 2, 0-2. Sherm Lollar gets a new ball from Bill Summers, tosses it out to Donovan. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Last of the 9th. The White Sox won. The Dodgers, nothing. What a ball game. Donovan working slowly. Kicks at the dirt out in front of the rubber. Tosses the rosin bag down again. Leans forward, gets the sign from Sherman Lollar. Gilliam guarding the plate. In comes the 2-strike pitch, and it's swung on. A ground ball hit out towards second. Fox up with it. Throws to Krasuski in time, and they're 2 away in the last half of the 9th inning. And here comes Charlie Neal, who fouled to third, single to left, popped to second, and flied to center. 2 outs in the last half of the 9th inning. The White Sox won. The Dodgers nothing. Lown and Staley warming up in the White Sox bullpen. Charlie Neal digs in. A right-hand hitter. And he'll be swinging. Swinging for the fence. Dick Donovan's pitch on its way, and Charlie Neal swings and grounds it slowly toward short. Aparicio up the ball, throws on to first in time, and the White Sox are alive as they win it 1-0. On the brink of losing out in this World Series, they hang on with brilliant clutch pitching by Dick Donovan and hang on to win it 1-0. And we go back to Chicago. The final score, the White Sox, 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. The Dodgers, no runs, 9 hits, and no errors. In just a moment, we'll review the highlights of today's game for you.
Calling all women over 25. Our exciting news concerns you because after 25, many of us have special hair problems. Our hair may begin to lose vitality, bounce, and luster. Now, Prom, the home permanent created especially for women over 25, gives you a completely new kind of curl. A curl with new liveliness and youthful bounce. That's because Prom has a new kind of waving lotion that you neutralize naturally. You get the liveliest, springiest, longest-lasting curl you've ever known. And now Prom is making you a very special offer. A new booklet, Beauty Ideas from Vogue, especially for women over 25. You'll find exciting makeup tips, new hairstyle ideas, easy exercises, and Vogue's famous 25-day diet. Get this new beauty booklet free exclusively with Prom, the permanent created especially for women over 25. Get Prom today for a lively, springy, youthful curl.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just seen one of the most pulsating and spine-tingling baseball games I guess it's ever been played in World Series competition. The eighth inning alone was worth the admission, and the White Sox stay alive. The World Series in 2 days will resume at Comiskey Park, and look out, you never know. The totals again. Chicago, 1 run, 5 hits, no errors, and 5 left on. No runs for the Dodgers, 9 hits, no errors, and 11 left on. Bob Shaw will be the winner. He lost a game, the second time around in the series. Billy Pierce, and some tremendous stout-hearted pitching by Donovan. The loser will be Sandy Koufax. Williams came on and finished it out. The 1 run of the game was scored by the Go-Go Sox, who really came to life again today. In the 4th inning, Fox got a single. He went to third on a single by Landis. And then as Lollar was grounding out into a double play, Fox raced home with the only run of the game. We have to go back to the 8th inning, though, for there is where the White Sox, with their defense and great pitching and great leadership, held the Los Angeles Dodgers. Wally Moon opened with a routine fly to center, but the ball, as it has all during this series in L.A., was lost in this mass of shirts, most of them white. Landis lost the ball. It was ruled a single. Larker flied out to right, Rivera getting the ball. Then Hodges, with a count at 2-2, singled to right field. Moon moved into third base. The throw was a bit late. Now the pressure was really on. Right here, Billy Pierce was called in, and Demeter was taken out. Fairley was brought on, and he was lifted in favor of Rapolsky. However, the strategy of the Sox dictated a walk. They put Rapolsky on. Pierce was lifted, and Donovan was called on. What a job he did. And, of course, the toast of L.A., Carl Fiorillo, was brought out to hit. The first pitch was high to Carl, bases loaded, 1 out, and still protecting a 1-0 lead. The next pitch was fouled, and catcher Lollar came within 1.5 feet of getting it, but it hit the screen. Nevertheless, Donovan kept bearing down, and he got Carl to pop out to third base. That took some of the pressure off. Then Zimmer stepped up. They got him on a fly ball into shallow left, and that was a 3rd out of the inning. Donovan was simply tremendous in the 9th inning. He got the next 3 in order. Larry Sherry, a pinch hitter, Gilliam, who had racked up 4 consecutive hits. If Gilliam had been able to get another hit, it would have been a World Series record for 5 consecutive hits in a World Series game. So there's the story. The 1 run stood up, and the stout-hearted pitching of Donovan took care of L.A. in the 8th inning. One of the greatest games I guess we'll ever see. I think the last 1-0 game was in 1957, October 7th, when Burdett beat Whitey Ford in the 5th game of the World Series. And Milwaukee went on after that to win the World Series. Now, it's L.A., 3 games, Chicago, 2 games. And tomorrow is an open date. The people, even though the Dodgers lost, feel as though they've seen one of the greatest. That's it, 1-0. The White Sox win it. Shaw the winner, Koufax the loser. This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball, solely for the entertainment of our listening audience, and any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. Our many, many thanks to our NBC engineer, Howard Cooley. And this broadcast was produced by NBC sports editor Paul Jonas. Now, don't forget, fans, tomorrow is a traveling date. We'll be back on Thursday from Comiskey Park, starting at 1:45 Eastern Daylight Time, to report the crucial 6th game of the 1959 World Series. It'll come direct from Comiskey Park. Until then, for Mel Allen, this is Byram Som saying smooth sailing, smooth shaving, and good afternoon for your host, the Gillette Safety Razor Company.